I want to brush on the topic of education. How important are colleges, universities? Are colleges and universities overrated? Will a college dictate your path in life? Being successful or not being successful? A lot of questions. Last night I went home and my wife, she had a parents meeting at my daughter's school. And the teacher told my wife that your daughter is too smart for her class. You should transfer your daughter to another school and skip a grade so she can be in level with other kids. So to my wife, that was happy news. She told me that our daughter is too smart for her class and we should transfer her to another school, skip a grade, and all that good news. And I told my wife, why do you want to let the kid skip a grade? Let her just enjoy her time in school. Do not rush education on her. They're going to give her more homework. They're going to give her more stuff to do. And she's just a kid. Let her enjoy her time. If she finishes college at the age of 22 or 23 or 24 or 25 or 26, it doesn't matter. End result is it does not matter if you are done with school at 20 or 25. It's the same thing. Kids and parents are programmed to think that you must go to a good school, to a good college, to a good university to be successful in life. You have to get a 4.0 GPA. You have to get a 3.0 GPA, whatever the case may be. And the kid kills himself. Kills himself how? By studying so he can pass the exam. After he passes the exam, he gets his high school degree. After 1 week, you can ask him a question about anything he learned in school, and he tells you, I don't know, I forgot. The same goes with universities. We used to take our physics exam. We have 3 hours to finish the exam. We have maybe 6 problems. And it's an open book. It's an open book test. We can open the book, but you have a 300-page book. Are you going to sit and start studying 300 pages in 3 hours? It doesn't work. So if you did not study at home, you're not going to be able to finish the test. We killed ourselves to pass the exam so we can get that nice college degree. After we're done with college, after 2-3 months, if you ask that same student about how to solve that physics problem, he's not going to remember. Why? Because all his focus was, I want to pass the exam, I want to get the degree. I want to pass the exam, I want to get the degree. You have the degree, but you have no practical experience, you have no practical knowledge, you have nothing. You just went to school, you spent 60, 70, 80, $90,000. You get a piece of paper that says you graduated from the school, but you have absolutely no hands-on experience. You take that piece of paper, that degree that you spent your whole life trying to get, and now you want to apply for a job. Your salary will be an average person's salary after they take your taxes, after you pay for rent, after you pay your car payments, your gas, your takeout, clothes, cell phone, internet. You are left with little to no money at all. You will live and you will die being that same person, going to work at 8, coming back at 5. Going to work at 8, coming home at 5. Same salary, same salary. Not that it's wrong to work for a company, of course not. You got a stable income, stable job, stable hours, you have vacation, paid vacation, all the benefits of not owning your own business. We cannot all be bosses. We cannot all be business owners. Not everybody is programmed to be able to run a business. Not everybody thinks like a business person. Our minds are different. Everybody's mind is different. We need that garbage man as much as he needs us. We need the builder who built buildings, structures, stores. We need him as much as he needs us. The doctor needs to fix his device. We need him for our health. We all need each other. And we all use our skills to build up this planet. Maybe they increase your salary by $1,000, by $2,000. They promote you. You are a manager. Now you get $5,000 more. Big deal. Big deal. A pizza shop next door may make more money than that person who graduated from Yale or from Oxford or from whatever university. I'm not against education, but what I do not like about the education system is it's not practical. Our education system is not practical. I went to high school in the US. I went to Polytechnic University in Brooklyn in the US. I graduated both. Did they teach us anything practical in school? It's nice knowing all the equations. They do not even tell you that you will be using this equation to solve a certain task. They give you unrealistic scenarios where you have to use the equations and solve a problem. Schools in the US or anywhere in the world, they do not teach you practical stuff. A student graduates from school and he has no idea what's going on out there in the world. He tells you, oh, they taught me about history, about geography, about chemistry, about statistics, about this, about... Did you learn anything practical that you can use to do something with your life? No. I know how to solve equations. Great. Now, if you want to become an engineer, you want to become a doctor, you want to become a chemist, then your only option would be to go to school and get that degree, because they're going to teach you everything that you need to know. A doctor, a patient's life is in his hands. So a doctor cannot make mistakes. He has to study and study a lot. 100%. An engineer who is designing the structure of a building, if he does not study and he makes mistakes, that building is going to collapse and it's going to hurt people. And a lot of people confuse the word engineer with technician, especially people from Africa. I always read comments. Oh, I'm an engineer in Africa and I fix phones. What does engineering have to do anything with being a technician? An engineer is a person who designs. He does not fix. An engineer may have never seen a soldering iron in his life. Engineer does not mean a person fixes circuit boards or fixes devices. An engineer is a person who may take this remote and tell you, I can make it smaller and only one button. It's going to weigh much less and it's going to cost much less. That's engineering. You took something very big, you minimized it, you saved on the cost of plastic, you saved on the cost of production, and you made it more efficient. The battery will last longer. That's what an engineer is. Stop saying, I'm an engineer, I fix phones. You're not an engineer. You are a technician, especially to people in Africa. They always, every single one of them, I'm an engineer, I'm an engineer. You may be an engineer, who knows? But when you tell me I'm an engineer, I just replaced the screen on an iPhone, that's not engineering. You're confusing engineering with technician. So if that's what you want to do, you want to become an engineer, or you want to become a doctor, or you want to become a chemist, then you have no other option. You have to go to college. It does not have to be the best college. You can go to any college, because a person who want to learn, he can learn in any school. It doesn't have to be any specific school. And a person who doesn't want to learn, even if you put him in the best school in the world, he's not going to learn, because he's not taking in the information. He's not accepting the information. So stop stressing about what school I should go to. Stop stressing about that school did not accept me. I'm doomed. I'm depressed. Big deal. They don't accept you, you go somewhere else. You can learn wherever you go. You can even learn on your own. If you open up a book, you can learn. In school, in class, I look at the board. We have like 10 boards, all equations, all equations, all equations. And the professor really does not care if you understood his lecture or did not understand his lecture. He goes on, chapter 1, chapter 2, now we're on chapter 3, throwing equations, 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 equations. Do you think that you will learn everything in class? No. I used to go home, open up the book, read 3-4 hours trying to understand how that equation works and how it solves problems. But the professor himself, even though he's an educated person, he's a PhD, he does not care if you learn, if you do not learn, if you succeed, if you do not succeed. His job is to go in. Today you have to finish 3 chapters. And he just, he keeps going over 3 chapters in one session. And then you think to yourself, you go home, 3 chapters are like 100 pages. And you just have to flip the pages and study on your own. Most of the stuff I learned in college, I studied on my own, not because the professor taught me. I attended class, but I learned nothing from class. I had to go home and research and research and research and research just so that I can pass the test and get that degree. And that's why when you finish college, university, you get that degree and you're so happy with that degree. If I come to you and ask you a question after a couple of months about what you learned in school, you already forgot, because your goal was to just pass the test and get that degree. Now time comes to apply for a job, and that's when reality hits. A lot of people cannot find a job in their field. They studied for 4 years to get a bachelor. They accumulated $80,000 in loans to get that piece of paper that says I graduated from Polytechnic University. They apply for a job and company starts to ask, where were you the past 1 month? You did not get a job the past 1 month. Why? If you are away. If you got your degree and you did not get a job immediately, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months passes by, nobody's going to hire you, because what have you been doing for the past 3 months? You probably forgot everything that you learned in school. It's a harsh reality, and that's why a lot of people who major, for example, I know a lot of people who majored in electrical engineering, like myself. They are working on Uber, driving a taxi, working on Lyft, working as a delivery person. And when you ask them, why are you doing this? You have a degree. I could not find a job. And they are still paying loans on their college degree. And if you think college education is going to make you rich, you got it totally wrong. You got it absolutely wrong. If you see a person driving a Ferrari out on the road, let's say a teenager, or maybe a person in his 20s driving a Ferrari, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Oh, he went to Yale University, he studied, and he got his degree, and that's how he was able to buy that vehicle. I can tell you right now, if you work in engineering or whatever degree you graduated with, if you spend your whole life, you're not going to be able to buy that vehicle. If you spend your whole life, you're not going to be able to buy it. That person in his 20s, he already has one. And that tells you that success does not depend on education in no way, shape, or form. I am with education. I'm not against education, but I would love it if our schools are different. How? What do I mean by if schools are different? If you ask a soccer fan about a soccer player, he's going to tell you everything about that player. He researched and memorized everything about that player. His name, his last name, his date of birth, his kids, what schools they went to, so on and so forth. And they did not even have to open a book to memorize that stuff. But because they liked that person, they were able to memorize a lot about that person. Same thing with a song. Maybe a song is stuck in your head. You memorize the lyrics without having to open a book. You did not open the book and kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, trying to memorize and not being able to memorize. You memorize it because you liked that song. If kids are taught to like what they do, we're gonna do math today. Let's see how fun math is and how we can use math in our practical life. I was born in New York, right? But I'm from Lebanon. My family are from Lebanon. I stayed in the US until the age of 5, and then I went to Lebanon from age of 5 until the age of 16. And I can tell you, schools in Lebanon are like, you have to memorize that page, and tomorrow in front of the class you have to recite that page. Okay, I stand up in front of the class and I have to recite exactly what's on that page. It doesn't matter. I understand what's going on. I do not understand. I just have to recite exactly what I read in the page. And I still remember it. It used to be the history of China. What is China famous for? And we have to stand up. The teacher asks, what is China famous for? China is famous for this, this, and that, and they're famous for this, and then the rice, and then this, and then that, exactly as it's written on the page. If instead of saying and, I said or, -1. Why? Why are you teaching kids like that? Grammar. Same thing with grammar. They used to tell us the Arabic grammar is difficult because we have a lot of accents. We have a top accent, we have a circular one, we have a bottom one. And it all makes sense to me right now what they are used for. But when I was back in school, they used to tell us, this word you have to put this because another word came before it. Okay. That one you have to put this because that word came after it. Okay. But they did not teach you how that will help you in the practical world. For example, if the teacher said, you need to know the grammar because when you are out in the public and you are speaking, people will know that you are educated because you are forming the sentence right. And if you made a mistake with the character, then you will change the whole meaning of the sentence. They did not tell us any of that. They just told us, no, you have to put this because that word came before it. You have to put that because that word came after it. They were not practical in the way they are teaching. If students are enjoying what they are doing in school and they see the practical use in the real world about what they are learning in school, then they will learn a lot faster and they can apply what they learned in school outside in the real world. When you learn history, you are learning about what happened in 1920s and in 1899, in 1930s. While that information is nice and knowledge is always nice in any form, it does not benefit that person in the real world. How is it going to benefit that person? Unless you want to become a president or you want to become a politician. And these days, you do not have to be educated to become a politician. You have money, you can apply to become a politician. So all I'm asking is for schools to be practical in the way they teach. You want to teach math, equations, formulas, by all means, teach it, but apply it to the real world. How would I use that equation to solve a problem in the real world? That would bring up the interest in students. They would learn and apply in the real world. But you learn something in school and you do not know the usefulness of that equation. You just want to learn and memorize it so you can pass the exam and get that degree. That's not useful to me. That's a waste of time, waste of money, and you come out of school knowing nothing about how life works or applying what you learned in the real world. And then you have that public speaking class in school, college, university, whatever, where they teach you how to make hand movements, when to put your hand in your pocket, when to go like this, when to raise up your hand, how to make eye contact or not make eye contact, or look in between individuals, or just go like this, address everybody. You get up on stage because you have to pass that class, so you have to apply what they taught you. You get up on stage and you are so concerned with everything. Should I put my hand in my pocket now? Should I go like this? Should I go like that? You forget the speech. I worked as a car salesman in 2001, and I have a video talking about my experience working as a car salesman and how that experience changed my life as far as building my personality, my self-confidence, public speaking. I learned 1,000 times more being a car salesman, working with the public out in the real world, compared to learning public speaking in class. Class is fake. Outside is real. When you are addressing a group of people out in the public, or you are making a deal with somebody in the public, you learn 1,000 times more than what they teach you in class. Again, practicality. Class is fake. Outside is real. And one last thing before we end the video, a lot of people ask almost every day, what do I have to major in to do what you are doing? What did you major in? What degree did you get? School and degree has nothing to do with what I'm doing here on the bench. The education I got being an electrical engineer is awesome, amazing, but it does not help you in any way, shape, or form fixing devices. Fixing and discovering electronics was a hobby of mine. I used to subscribe to a magazine called Electronics Now. They put 5-6 projects inside that magazine, and the magazine comes out once a month. I used to wait for it, open it up, how to use the 555 chip, add a capacitor here, add a resistor here, and then you can have a light flash for 1 year on a single battery. I used to do projects like that. I used to etch my own circuit boards, drill my own circuit boards, insert the components, solder the back. I did not learn that from school. I learned it because it was a hobby of mine. I majored in electrical engineering because I thought being an electrical engineer, they would teach me how to open up a VCR, how to repair it if there's anything wrong, how to solder, and how to use a hot air station. It was none of that at all. None of that at all. If you want to learn how to fix electronics, you have to learn from someone in the business, someone that has a track record of fixing a lot of devices and has knowledge. You want to go on YouTube and learn. I share a lot of knowledge you can learn from my videos, but to learn the proper way, you need to learn it from someone who's already doing it as a business. So school may be of some help. They have technical schools also where they teach you how to solder and do stuff like that, but that technical school is not going to tell you how to fix an Asus 505 board. They're not going to tell you how to fix an iPhone 12 motherboard. They're going to teach you how to solder, how to do that basic stuff. But the only way to learn how to fix electronics is to be next to somebody who's already in the business. We're going to end the video right here. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Leave it down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and we'll do something else in the next video.